Okay, recently I do IEM reviews, in-ear monitors, but everybody listens to those has some kind of a source, whether they have a like a RME like I use all the time, or they use a DAP, like a personal music player, digital audio player. These are my favorites. All the ones that I'm going to mention I've had. I don't think that these players, they're very much like the earphones that you don't get a lot of return for a lot of more money, and sometimes you don't get any, really, that you can tell. And sometimes the service and the quality of the interface compared to something like an iDevice is very horrible. This is my favorite, and it's just going on sound quality. It's Android 4. 1. It has no EQ. 2. It's got poor battery life. 3. It's got no balanced. 4. There's 4 reasons why I would just walk away from something. It just sounds so good. And a lot of people that have listened to a lot of devices, this is the commonality between everybody. It's not people that bought this and says I don't want it anymore or move along. It's people that have bought a bunch of other stuff and then came across this and thought, holy crap, that is really good music. That replays my library, and just everybody, orchestral, jazz. My library's rock and roll. Everybody seems to love this. I saw it, I think, on Jobin for $5.99. If you can put up with those 4 deficiencies, you can get a battery pack for it. This is just, the people that have bought the most expensive in the world, including myself, would say it's really good. Look into it. Consider it. It's depends on your lifestyle whether or not it would be practical. But just going on sound quality, I would say the Calyx Audio M, Calyx M Audio is the best. And N8, the black and the original one, there wasn't much difference between the two. The interface is not ideal. They worked with that. They do update their firmwares. Both of the units had issues where they almost were sliding right out of the covers. Like, that's a very expensive item to just fly right out and then hit the ground. It's got little tubes inside of it. You can see those lights that are right here that actually are the tubes. And it's got a warmish, again, that's my preference apparently, with the detail. Like the Calyx M, it's quite powerful. It doesn't really have that much of a problem with the battery life. It's got 4.4. It's a very good music player. It's packaged beautifully. It's got a lot of accessories. It's got adapters. It's a very, very nice thing, but you're going to pay a premium. Do you need to? This is when you get into the upper tier of I just want to spend my money and I don't want to go backwards. You're not going to go backwards with something like this. You might go a teeny bit forwards if you really, focus, but it's not going to be obvious. The rockers on this and the way that they use these knobs is a little bit hard to get used to, or just not your thing. So demo it before you buy it if you can. Sony WM1Z. Love this. Love it a lot. I'm a Sony fanboy, as everybody knows. I love Sony gear. The WM1Z, the Z1Rs are right over there. This has 4.4. I think it was like the original that came out with a 4.4 plus 3.5. It's not very powerful relative to some other ones, but it's also not slave to a certain Android level that won't be supported in the future. It's its own system. It's very simple to navigate. It was updated to have a vinyl DSP setting, which would give it a replay very similar to this N8 and its tubes you would get with this right here. And it's covered in gold. Do you care? It is slightly warmer than the WM1A, but they're both great, and you can have this for years, like people have had it, and not be, you can't use this app anymore because it's not supported by the Android you're on. So the bad side of the Android platform is not experienced on this, so it's very nice. This is the FiiO M11 Pro. I love this DAP. I love this DAP, and it got squeezed between the M11 and then immediately, even when this was announced, they had already announced the M15. It was made irrelevant when it was launched, and it had THX Tech amp inside, amplification circuitry, and it made it very dark sounding, like this RME where there's nothing going on except the sound that's being played back. It's called black in the back, if you understand what I'm saying. There's no other noise. It is superior to the M11 a little bit, but that's where it's superior. And the M15 I didn't find to be sonically superior. It's much more powerful than M15, but on audio quality only, the M11 Pro, if you're trying to get something in an affordable range, this is something you should consider. Because it was released in between two other devices, it immediately lost its value because people got it and said, oh, I want the M15, and they got rid of it on the secondary market, and you might be buying it second or third hand. But it's a very nice device. Very, very, very nice. It's my favorite FiiO DAP ever released so far. I wish they had taken that same amplification tech to the M15. I'm pretty sure they didn't. It doesn't sound like they did. The Lotoo PRO 5000 MK2. I got a video on my channel for this. It's got a Blackfin chip, which is a DSP chip, and it doesn't put it on the little CPU. It does it itself. It's all the calculations for the very, very, very excellent PEQ, which is a parametric equalizer, where you can equalize exact frequency, and it's also its Q factor, its bandwidth. This is a precision audio instrument, probably the best you can get. It doesn't, it's not a, I think it looks good. If you set it so that it's putting up the EQ while you're listening, it's a very beautiful device. In some ways, maybe the most. This is also in the affordable range like the M11 Pro. Very highly wrecked, especially if you're into doing minor tweaks. This will do it as good as almost anything. This is the iVasel DX160, which is right over there. I got rid of a lot of the DAPs that I've had previously, including the N8, but this one I have because it has a PEQ like the Lotoo. It's a little bit different, and when you use it, it's using, it doesn't have a dedicated chip. It gets the device quite hot, and it eats the battery a lot, but I can do PEQ type adjustments, and it does in fact work, and it does have a beautiful screen, and after firmware updates it is an exceptional player. So I would wreck this one. I would wreck this, the M11 Pro, and the Lotoo 5000 Mark II as the three. Like, not going to break the bank, but you're going to get high quality sound playback. This is the KN-N62. I'm going to move along from this because I think the three that the DX160, the Mark II, and the Pro, I don't think you would need to go to this. It's not bad. I like it a lot. I think price-wise, the other ones would be wiser. And then this is the final one. This is weird. This is called Opus Audio. And this is the one that you always see. It says high-res audio, and it says real metal on some of it. There's one version that was released, and it's on my channel if you type Opus Audio or Opus 1. I didn't get the plastic one because I never wanted a plastic music player. I wanted a metal one, and they told me directly, we have one that's actually made out of real metal, and it's got different op amps in it. It's got a warmer, cleaner sound. That's what they said. I said, that sounds perfect, so they sent it to me. I got rid of it a couple years ago and deeply, deeply regret it because it was absolutely excellent. It's very hard to find, and people say, oh yeah, I have the metal edition. No, not like says metal on it. It actually is an aluminum chassis. You can look at the video on my channel, look at it up close. This is clearly not that too, but that version of this sounded excellent. I have no idea why they did not continue that. Maybe it was a money thing. That was excellent. Why did Calyx Audio M not continue? I don't know. Why did this company not continue what was better than the plastic one, what was better than the 2, and was better than the 3? The best of the series that they ever released was one that was, it's super rare. If you can ever get your hands on this one, I highly recommend you get it. It's kind of like the Calyx M. It's a set. It's a device that you should never let go. I regret, and I've never been able to find one, ever. If you find one, let me know. Because the Calyx M came into my life and then went, and then I happened to find another one, and this one came in unopened box. Brand spanking new. Was sweet. Very, very sweet. So maybe I'll get lucky someday and find it. So that's for my favorite DAPs. M11 Pro, DX160, Lotoo 5000 Mark II. Affordable. You pair that with a Belon, you pair that with an Urban Fun, and you've got top-of-the-line audio replay for way, way less than a lot of people would imply you need to spend. And you don't. Next video after that is going to be a couple new IEMs that maybe have not been seen yet, and I'll go ahead and show them. And that's it for this video. I'm out. Look at that.